So I very quickly want to go through, at least as a note for myself, what I've noticed today and what's happened. I've had a problem here for a while with my RepRap where in the middle of a print it will just stop. It will stop, it will fail, and then after some amount of time it will come back on, but then the position will be wrong. It will have missed stuff and it will have been, it will think it's in the wrong location. So what I thought maybe is that maybe the logic up here, the motherboard was overheating. So I took this 40mm fan, I just wired it directly out of laziness to the 12-volt 11-amp power input, so it's just always on, and I put it up there to try to maybe cool things down. So I ran the print, and after a certain amount of time way down that layer in the bottom there, you can see where it's off, it stopped. And when it stopped, I was watching the software over there, and nothing seemed to react. After a couple of seconds, it started going again. When it was off, though, I noticed that the fan was off, and it took maybe 5 minutes because I was in trying data gathering mode, really quick thinking about stuff before I finally processed that information and realized, well, if the power supply was off and that's just wired to 12 volt, then the problem is really my power supply. So that computer power supply over there, I'm going to replace or keep a fan on that or something. I don't know. But for some reason, I think that failed. Maybe the current was, the draw was too much because I'm using that over there now instead of my usual spool, and maybe it's too tense. It was pretty tight at the time. So maybe there's a whole bunch of reasons that could have caused it. But that was what caused the problem in the first place. So what I also noticed is after what I did to try to recover it is I paused it. I did an M14 command that told me where it was. Then I homed X and Y, and then I used the buttons to move it around. I really should have used a G1 command to move it back to exactly where it was. Because I moved it to not quite the same location, it was off in X because there was no 0.01 button, just a 0.1mm button. I didn't really think it through. I should have done a G1 command. But anyways, later, then it was still going to be off by a little bit, and then towards the end I stopped really paying attention. I'm still in the room, but I let it continue printing, and then it went off again. As you can see, those layers there are shifted as well. And I'm wondering if the shifting is just another one of those temporary little power drips, where it stopped and it came back on, and it was a little bit to the left of where I thought it was, because it's certainly what would have happened over here if I hadn't adjusted it. So I have to make a mental note to myself that anytime that I see it shifting again, don't assume it's anything like slip in the... Well, that belt does look pretty loose too, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could also be power. Which totally was the case over here, and it continued because I fixed it. Anyways, a lot of rambling for a note to myself video, but there you go.